Greetings, Retro Zoltan here. Did you get that sinking feeling after the 2022 June's Nintendo Direct? There was almost nothing mentioned at all about the Game & Watch. Before freaking out, and I almost did.
Game over, man! It's game over!
This particular Nintendo Direct mini event was different from the usual. Capcom, Bandai, and a handful of others that work with Nintendo just wanted to showcase what's coming up for the Nintendo Switch. And that's it. If I had suspected a Mega Man Game & Watch, this would have been an opportunity to have it mentioned also, but no, Nintendo still has plenty to work with as far as stuff that they own exclusively. My biggest guess is Kirby and Donkey Kong are exclusively owned by Nintendo, so if I'm correct, this will be mentioned in the Nintendo Direct in September this year. That's the theory anyway. So don't worry, there's still a chance Nintendo still cares about the Nintendo Game & Watch, and if not, well, then we have a lot to be sad about. Deep down, am I worried? Kind of. The 2020 Super Mario Bros. Color Screen Edition was not received as well as expected, but the 2021 Zelda, according to The Gamer, was sold out in seconds online. Hard to know what Nintendo is thinking, as they do whatever they feel like, against what the public thinks is best or not, so it makes them hard to predict. So if they stop, what are we to do? What can we replace the Game & Watch with for those who really want more? If you're like me, thin handhelds like the Game & Watch are really your bag, and there may be more options out there that you're not aware of. So here are the top 5 alternatives to the Game & Watch if Nintendo is done making them. Number 5. If you're a collector, there are older Game & Watch systems out there, if you can afford them. If you don't want to spend as much, or just mad at Nintendo in general, there were other companies making these back in the 80s. Bandai, Radio Shack, and even Casio tried to cash in on the portable LCD game market. Granted, they're not in color, but there's quite a bit, and I, for one, love to grab these on the cheap when I can find them. Number 4. If you're really desperate, there's a Game & Watch clone that's called the Game & Console. It's a bit bigger, a lot cheaper, and pretty much a Fama clone, but another option nonetheless. There's also the Cool Baby RS60, which runs close to the same games, all on the cheap. You can't add more games, or save them for that matter, but it can be entertaining. Number 3. If it's value you're after, perhaps the Trim UI or the Powkiddy A66 is more to your liking. Using an SD card, you can load up thousands of games quite easily on a very thin form factor that's hard not to get excited over. There are multiple options and systems, and you can save your game at any time. Number 2. If you like thin handheld units, a system that has roots to the Artaboy called Micro Arcade might be your bag. They won't tell you the time of day, but they will scratch that nostalgic itch as well as provide enough options if you want to start collecting them all like a madman. These are great. And rechargeable just like the new Game & Watch. And all of them are classic arcade goodies that your hands can't resist. Number 1. There are a group of people that have been hardware hacking the Game & Watch, adding whatever games they feel like putting on there, to which I have mixed feelings about. But at the same time, it's not a bad idea. The purist in me finds it hard to watch people even open these things up, but I have certainly done worse to other systems.
Now this is a capital offense in most states, so make sure to hide your proxy.
Regardless of my feelings, the work done is pretty impressive, and someday, maybe I will try it, or buy one that's already been hacked. Probably one that takes an SD card so I can pack it to the gills. I could possibly do the work myself, but I haven't been the luckiest even with the most simple of Game & Watch modifications. If I find anything interesting to share, I'll post it on my website. Those of us that love this thing really cannot wait for another. We want 1,000 more. We want to collect them all for as long as Nintendo makes them. And that's it. Fingers crossed they mention something in September. Don't worry, the book isn't closed yet. Special thanks to Unreason once again for letting me use the music at the end of this video. Thanks for watching and carrying along with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
It's releasing in the near future, so stay tuned.